Did you know the average person eats up to 150 pounds of sugar every single year? That's 3 to 5 times more than your body is designed to handle, and most people have absolutely no idea they're doing it. Because sugar doesn't just affect your waistline. Inside your brain, it behaves almost like an addictive drug. It hijacks your dopamine, crashes your energy, and creates cravings you mistake for weak willpower. But here's what almost nobody tells you. Quitting sugar for just 72 hours is enough to begin reversing many of these effects. No month-long detox, no extreme diet, just 3 days. By the end of this video, you'll know exactly what happens when you stop eating sugar, hour by hour, how it affects your brain, how it changes your energy, and what benefits begin appearing when you cut out refined sugar. But to understand those 3 days, we first need to see what sugar is doing to your brain right now. So, what is sugar actually doing inside your body? Every time you eat refined sugar, a cookie, a soda, even a slice of white bread, your blood glucose spikes rapidly, and your body treats that spike like a small emergency. Your pancreas immediately releases a large wave of insulin, a hormone whose job is to pull sugar out of your bloodstream as quickly as possible. And it works, sometimes too well. Within minutes, your blood sugar crashes back down. Sometimes it even falls lower than it was before you ate. That crash is what you feel as fatigue, as brain fog, and as that sudden urge to do absolutely nothing. It's your brain losing its stable fuel supply. Think of it this way. Eating sugar is like flooring the gas pedal in a car. You get a burst of speed, but then you slam the brakes, full stop. And that sudden stop leaves your brain struggling to keep up. This is why you feel mentally slow after lunch. It's why that 3 p.m. energy crash hits like a wall. It's why you reach for coffee or something sweet just to feel functional again. You're not tired because you didn't sleep enough. You're tired because your blood sugar just fell off a cliff and your brain is paying the price. And here's the surprising part. Most people never connect their brain fog to sugar. They assume it's stress, aging, or just how they are. But research shows glycemic spikes and crashes directly impair focus and mental performance. The more frequently you eat refined sugar, the more unstable your blood glucose becomes, and the more your brain struggles to maintain consistent performance throughout the day. But energy crashes are only half the story. Because the real reason sugar is so hard to quit has almost nothing to do with willpower, and everything to do with what sugar is doing to your brain's reward system. Here's where it gets uncomfortable. Every time you eat sugar, it triggers a dopamine, the hormone responsible for pleasure, motivation, and reward. And this hormone is being released inside a region of your brain called the nucleus accumbens, the same reward center that lights up during addictive drugs. That's not a metaphor. That's actual brain chemistry. And here's the problem. The more often dopamine floods that reward system, the more your brain tries to protect itself. And it does that by reducing the number of dopamine receptors. Fewer receptors mean the same amount of sugar produces less pleasure. So your brain starts demanding more sugar just to feel the same satisfaction you once felt before. This process is known as dopamine receptor downregulation, the same biological mechanism behind addiction tolerance. And here's the scary part. In some animal studies, when rats were given a choice between sugar water and actual cocaine, the results were unexpected. They chose the sugar. That alone tells you how powerfully sugar activates your brain's addiction pathways. So the cycle becomes clear. Sugar spikes dopamine, the brain adapts, cravings intensify, and willpower slowly erodes. Not because you're weak, but because your brain was chemically rewired to need more. The good news? That rewiring can be reversed, and it starts within the first 72 hours of cutting sugar out. So what actually happens inside your brain and body during those 3 days? Let's break it down, hour by hour. The first 24 hours. Withdrawal begins. Within the first few hours, your brain notices something is missing. Dopamine stimulation drops, blood sugar stops spiking, and your brain, conditioned to expect that reward, starts pushing back hard. You might feel headaches, irritability, fatigue, or strong cravings that seem to appear out of nowhere. This isn't weakness. It's your brain's reward system recalibrating. And here's something most people don't expect. As insulin drops, your kidneys begin releasing excess sodium, and sodium pulls water with it. Many people lose noticeable water weight within the first 24 to 48 hours. Real, measurable change, and the first physical sign that something significant is already shifting. Next, 24 to 48 hours. Metabolic adjustment. By day 2, blood sugar stops swinging between spikes and crashes. Insulin levels stabilize, and your body begins shifting toward more consistent energy metabolism. Cravings are still present, but they start losing their intensity. Thinking feels slightly clearer. Bloating reduces. The foundation is shifting underneath you. 48 to 72 hours. The brain reset begins. This is where it gets interesting. Your dopamine system begins actively rebalancing. Receptor sensitivity starts recovering. That constant background noise of cravings starts to quiet down. Energy becomes more stable. Focus sharpens, and the brain fog that once felt normal starts lifting. 72 hours isn't the finish line, but it's the turning point. The moment your brain stops reacting to the absence of sugar and starts adapting to life without it. But before you try this yourself, there are a few misconceptions about sugar that can completely undermine your results if you don't know about them. The first misconception is, I don't actually eat that much sugar. This belief is incredibly common and incredibly misleading. Because the sugar affecting your brain chemistry isn't just in candy or soda. It's hidden in bread, pasta sauces, salad dressings, flavored yogurt, and even protein bars marketed as healthy. The food industry has become extremely skilled at hiding sugar in places you'd never expect, and they disguise it under dozens of different names on ingredient labels. So most people aren't eating too much sugar because they're reckless. They're eating too much sugar because it's everywhere. The second misconception is that sugar cravings are just weak willpower. You now know why this isn't true. Cravings aren't a personality flaw. They're the result of dopamine adaptation, your brain's reward system literally being rewired over months and years of sugar exposure. When you crave sugar, your brain isn't being lazy. It's following a deeply conditioned chemical signal. Blaming willpower is like blaming someone for being tired after no sleep. The real issue isn't the person, it's the biology behind it. The third misconception is that sugar gives you energy, but in reality, sugar gives you speed, not energy. That initial sugar rush is real, but it's always followed by a crash that leaves you more depleted than before. You're not gaining energy, you're borrowing it and paying it back with interest. Stable, sustained cognitive energy comes from stable blood sugar, and stable blood sugar comes from removing the thing that's been destabilizing it. And the good news? You don't need months to feel the difference. Just 72 hours is enough to start changing the way your brain and body operate. So, because you now understand what sugar is doing to your body and what happens when you remove it, here's the challenge. 72 hours. That's all it takes to begin the reset. No month-long detox, no extreme diet. Just 3 days of removing added and refined sugars. No sodas, no sweets, no processed snacks, and letting your own biology show you what's possible. Will it be easy? Probably not. The first 24 hours might feel genuinely rough headaches, cravings, irritability. That's real, and it's normal. You're not failing. You're detoxing from something your brain became chemically dependent on. Push through those first days, because that's where the shift begins. And when you get to the other side, notice your energy. Notice your focus. Notice how quiet those cravings become. One simple habit can make this much easier. Always check the nutrition label before buying packaged foods. Look specifically at the line that says added sugars. That single habit alone will eliminate a massive amount of hidden sugar from your diet without any extra effort. Just 3 days. You've done harder things. If you want to keep learning about how food and habits affect your body and brain, your hormones and your energy, subscribe to the channel. That's exactly what we break down here. And if you learned something new today, hit the like button. Your brain is more capable of change than you think. It just needs 72 hours to prove it.